is when it comes to your mindset, how you think, how you react. And ladies, I'm going to say it, our emotional track. I'll say it, how we even get emotional about things. This is what we're going to be discussing. And our topic today is exponential thinking. You know, when we grow up, we're actually taught something different. We're taught linear thinking, and we're going to talk about that. So let's get started, you guys. Man, I was sitting here on my couch the other day, and for those of you who don't know, my number one actor is Tom Cruise. I know that I feel y'all. But this is my boy, this is my man, all the way going back to The Outsiders, to All the Right Moves. I mean, this is my boy. And everything about him, I like more him than I do all the characters. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love every single movie pretty much, with the exception of one or two that he's done, because they're all about his mindset being reflected in his movies. So when you go and watch a movie with Tom Cruise, you're not just sitting there talking about the character, Ethan Hunt. What do you say sitting in your seat? Oh my gosh, look at what Tom is doing. Because you know that Tom is one of those actors that does all of his stunts. He's that one to where when it comes to getting it done, when it comes to even elevating what was done before, and when it comes in the way in which to do it, Tom Cruise is like, well, what did we do last time? We must crank that up a notch. And when it comes to showing what could be done, what he does shows us that anything can be done, because his mindset is not linear. His mindset is exponential. That is the type of mindset that I'm talking about. That is the type of focus that we have got to have when it comes to where we are today and what we've done. But more importantly, when it comes to what we're going to do tomorrow and the day after that and the future. I love Tom Cruise's movies because it shows everything is not only possible, it shows that anything is possible. And that's where we got to go in our mindset, in our heart, with our plan and our actions, and even how big we move and step by leaps and bounds is exactly where we have to go. That there are some people that excel at everything they do. No matter what they do, you see them soar. It could be something that's never been done before, something that's been done but didn't work, or something that's working a little bit. But the moment that they put their hands to it, it goes poof. And then they say, but there's some that can't even catch a break. No matter what they do, they can't touch much. And when it does, it goes a little bit, or they're having difficulty cracking the code to get it to explode or get to the next level. And they say, and I'm telling you, I'm agreeing, 100% TA is down with this thinking, or I wouldn't be bringing it. It's because of how we were taught and the way that we must think. We were taught linear thinking, and I'm going to go over what that means, opposed to exponential thinking. One of the quotes that I love, and it, just because I quote somebody doesn't mean that I'm all down with all their beliefs or what they do. But to me, if somebody says something that's pretty powerful and it's wisdom, I can take it. I don't have to be down with everything that they're doing, or I don't have to say that because I'm taking it, I'm standing with them in it. And this is from Bill Gates, and I like this. He says, we always overestimate the change that will occur, underestimate the change that will occur in the next 10 years. We always overestimate the change that will occur. And he says, maybe in the next year or the next 2 years, we overestimate it. We think everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. So we end up chilling. We end up doing just enough. And you're going to hear me say it again, or just a little bit. But he says the failure comes when we underestimate the change that will occur in the next 10 years. And he says, don't let yourself be lulled into inaction. Think about it. What we think is going to happen and what we believe in very much dictates our action, what we're going to do about it, the way in which we're going to do it, and how big we're going to do it. You know, I can honestly say that because a linear thinking, we're going to talk about that, is so how we have been developed, it is something that we're going to have to be cognizant of, that we're going to have to take a step out, and I've really been talking about that, unplug, to really assess and change up some things. We need to develop a mindset that is unshakable no matter what we endure, no matter what we face. Imagine if we had an unshakable mindset before COVID came. If we had planned not in what we could see just a year ahead of us or 2 years, what if we planned for things that were 10 years out? Where do you think we would have been? A lot of us are just, working on our plan day to day and month to month, never making sure the plan that they're working on is lining up things for the future, lining up things 5, 10, 15 years from now. They're very systematic, linear thinking, very logic thinking, linear thinking, Dr. Spock thinking versus Captain Kirk. This is where we are. We've got to make sure that the plan that we have for our life, what we're going to be going after in the new year, has what I'm going to call a man of steel, okay, or a strong force, or some exponential, robust fire motors like Iron Man, so that we can go by leaps and bounds and endure whatever is ahead of us, no matter what. Also, it states that highly successful and happy people practice exponential thinking. And let me tell you why, is because when they're planning ahead and they're going by leaps and bounds and going after it, well, there's not too many things that are going to be able to shake their surface, shake their mind, or even if there's a devastation, they're not dealing with all of these things falling apart. Maybe they're just dealing with the one thing facing them in life that is either causing them to feel devastated, or it's causing them to have some issues momentarily, or they can go and actually give themselves the time they need to go do what they do. So many times we're doing things in our life that comes up and we unplug completely from it, never having a plan during that time to make sure that when we're ready to hop back in, we're good to go. A lot of us react and do based on our emotions in that moment, like Bill is saying, just what's happening in that year. We base it off of that, never, ever, ever preparing for the future. And I love that. And I love the last thing here. Growth only happens when something is increased. This means in order for us to grow, in order for us to do more, in order for us to evolve, and I'm going to say that word probably a couple times because we were made to evolve. We were not made to stay the same. If you're living the same life over and over and over and everything is just systematic, check in, check out, clock in, clock out. But here's the thing. I'm going to say it because somebody loves you needs to. That's not what you were made for. You were made to be great. You were made to do something big. You were made to be revolutionary. You were made to change the tide. You were made to be the one to make it happen, to create it, to instigate it, to blow it up. You were made for more. And that means that I'm going to say it, and don't hate me. You're living your life just in the moment and for you. Never, ever, like Bill is saying, thinking about the future and what you could do. Yeah, I'm fired up about this one.